Hello everyone, and let's talk about Call of Duty WW2, which is going to be set between the 1939 and 1945 conflict, which I don't know what it is called. Wait a minute, wait, World War Two, that's what it's called! Nobody told me that. I didn't get that when it was called World War Two at the start. Don't know, but anyway, it's going to be set in the 1939 to 1945 conflict. I guess we'll be playing as we look as if from the trailer we're going to be playing as the Americans. Hopefully it has separate campaigns like the original did. I did like the Russian campaign in the original game. That was awesome. You had Stalingrad. So awesome. Apparently it's going to have D-Day. It's going to have that, which was in Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Had a really good D-Day level where you were storming the beach in Normandy. It was Omaha Beach you were doing, Omaha. Maybe they'll do it. You did one, what was it? I can't remember what the beach was. Call of Duty 2 had one, but I can't remember what beach you were storming. Omaha Beach was Saving Private Ryan that was in. It was also in Medal of Honor. Frontline and Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Of course, Medal of Honor Allied Assault was technically the first Call of Duty game, as it was made by the same developers that went on to make Call of Duty. So it was in that, so you're going to get that. You're going to get to see that in next gen. I'm looking forward to that, or current gen, should we say. Looking forward to seeing that running on a modern game. I'm actually looking forward to Call of Duty World War II. I was a big fan of Call of Duty, and especially the World War II era Call of Duty games, which leads us on to Season 3 of old school games on modern systems, which is going to be Call of Duty World War II games, hence the gameplay footage. We're going to start with the first Call of Duty, which was Medal of Honor Allied Assault, for reasons which I will explain in that video. So, hopefully it's going to be decent, actually, COD World War II. Because I love the campaigns, like the first sort of two Call of Duties. Call of Duty 2 probably is my favourite one. I love the Russian campaigns in particular. The SAS campaign was pretty good. The British campaign in COD 1 was amazing. You had the American campaign in COD 1, then you had the British, and then you had the Russian campaign, which was cool. The Russian one was arguably one of my favourites. It had Stalingrad, which opened with a scene for scene recreation of the movie Enemy at the Gates. Should play Call of Duty and go and see Enemy at the Gates. It was amazing. It's Jude Law, Raquel Wise, and Ed Harris was in it. Ed Harris was the German sniper. It takes place during the Battle of Stalingrad, where Jude Law is Vasily Zaitsev was his name, I think. He was a famous Russian sniper. His rifle is still in a museum somewhere in Russia. I think it's Volgograd it's called now, because it's on the river Volga now. It's not called Stalingrad anymore. But yeah, Battle for Stalingrad was one of the big highlights of Call of Duty 1. It was an amazing recreation that they did. It was scene for scene, like Enemy at the Gates. Watch Enemy at the Gates, and then watch play the Russian campaign in Call of Duty 1. The Russian campaign was excellent in Call of Duty 2 as well. I remember that was pretty good. The American campaign, did we get a British campaign? I don't remember. COD 2. I'm gonna play it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna play it, and we're gonna do Medal of Honor Allied Assault in 2017, Call of Duty in 2017, COD 2, COD 3, which was console only, and COD World at War was the final, or what we thought was the final, Call of Duty World War II game. So apparently it's going to introduce a new generation of players to World War II shooters, which is good, because we haven't had that many World War II shooters. Remember, the mid-2000s was flooded. The marketplace was just simply flooded with World War II shooters. So we'll cover all the main sort of COD games. We may cover some of the expansions and some of the sort of console spin-offs, like Call of Duty Finest Hour was a console spin-off, and Call of Duty 2 Big Red one, I think, was the other one. Call of Duty 3 is the only one that was not available on PC, or well, the only mainstream Call of Duty game not available on PC. There's an interesting fact for you. But I am, for once, looking forward to a Call of Duty game this year. I thought they would maybe take a break. I kind of thought that because Infinite Warfare didn't sell well with Jon Snow. It was all Jon Snow's fault. He's a mopey bastard. That mopey bastard failed to sell anything. You sold nothing, Jon Snow. You sold nothing. I didn't really play much of Infinite Warfare. I played Black Ops 3 to completion. Story was a bit ridiculous. I think I was getting a bit sick of, future sci-fi, futuristic shooters, kind of the big thing at the moment. You've got sort of quite a few games like Titanfall, the kind of sci-fi franchise. Call of Duty has gone there. You've got Halo, obviously. So it's kind of, we've seen modern shooters, we've seen sci-fi shooters. We're coming full circle and going back to World War II. Of course, this follows on the heels of Battlefield 1 successfully going back to World War I, although apparently Call of Duty World War II has been in development for a few years. A lot of people saying it's a Battlefield 1 ripoff. I don't know how it can be a ripoff if it's set in a different war, though. Different era. World War I was in the sort of, 1918? Yeah, 1918 was it that it finished, World War. Was it 19? Was it I can't remember when World War One started. I know it was 1918 it finished. But yeah, what a different generation, you could argue. World War One, World War Two. But I'm looking forward to it because Battlefield 1 worked out pretty well. So which proves that, there's a market out there for World War II. There's always been a market out there. There was a market there in the mid-2000s. I don't think that market's really gone anywhere. And it is going to appeal, of course, to a new generation of COD kids who could swear into the microphone while reenacting, what their grandparents did for real at one point. So it's good, it's good to see. It might be an education and the first the first kind of exposure to World War II for a new generation. One of the things I hope they don't do stupid things like censor swastikas and things like that, because it's part of the sort of history that we had, Nazi Germany did exist. I know you get people who are snowflakes and cry, we shouldn't have anything to do, we should censor history and not show, Nazi propaganda or anything like that, but it was part of that era. I think, the Nazis exist. I think people should be educated about, what the Nazis did. It would be interesting to see if they do have sort of a controversial level where you play as a German soldier. I would be all for that, to be honest with you. I think that would be kind of cool and kind of different as well. It would be different. What if they did it? What if you played as someone like, von Stauffenberg? You saw the movie Valkyrie, with Tom Cruise in it. What if they did a level that was like that, where you had to sort of bomb Hitler? That'd be kind of interesting. You're playing as a German, but you're playing as a German who is opposing the Nazi regime. That would be a good angle to cover it from. Just play, because not all German soldiers in the Second World War were Nazis. Not all of them were Nazis. Not all of them held the belief that the Nazis had, the insane beliefs that Hitler had. So not all of them were like that. And I think it would be interesting to see from that perspective. The other thing would be maybe, if you have an American soldier where, if you ever see the episode of Band of Brothers, it was Why We Fight, which was one of the most powerful episodes where they come across a concentration camp. And even if they show what the Nazis did and how the Nazis treated the sort of political dissidents, most of them were Jews. He killed a good few million Jews, Hitler. But if you could see that in a video game, I think that a video game platform is mature enough, I think, to handle that. And I think showing what the Nazis actually did would be an interesting way to do it. They could do it in a video game. I think we've never really seen anything like that. Maybe you have to sort of have objectives where you have to feed and, help out, help out all these people who are in, and it would be a good sort of educational thing. I think as an educational level, you could have it as, they always seem to do a sort of controversial type level, but I think it would be, sort of an interesting thing to put in a game. And it would be very sort of striking and harrowing. I think if you watch that episode of Band of Brothers, because it is one of those episodes that is it's a kind of an incredibly powerful episode. Imagine having that as a level in a Call of Duty game. There's no combat in it, have no combat. You know, we've seen Call of Duty kind of explore the sort of darker side of war and things like that, and the sort of more humane side of war, but I think it would be an interesting subject to explore and an interesting education, as long as it's done tastefully and done in an educational manner. I think it would be good. And again, playing as a German soldier would be, I think, again, as long as it's done sort of, you know, you could do it as a sort of anti-Nazi kind of thing. You know, you could do it sort of like that, where they complain about, you know, not having enough ammunition, they complain about not having enough fuel, they complain that the Allies and the Soviets are coming for them. They're kind of, you know, being a war on two fronts. They're being penned in, and they've got this sort of insane leadership that they're, you know, they don't want to question because they'll probably be shot. And it would be an interesting sort of exploration of that. I think it would be quite good. You could do it without being pro-Nazi. I think that is the thing that you have to be aware of, because I think that would upset too many people, I think, and be too controversial. But Call of Duty is a game that doesn't shy away from controversies at least. So it would be interesting to see how they tackle subjects like the Holocaust, subjects like, you know, playing as a German soldier. But, you know, I'd like them to take a risk and go for that. I think it could pay off. And I'm excited for once for a Call of Duty game. But anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me. And don't forget to check out the videos that we're going to have upcoming on the previous World War II Call of Duty games. So that is all for this video. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again soon. And goodbye.